the left here you can see what the West Cheshire CCG already used for their GP referral portal. Each one of these is a clickable button which can take you to the content and detail behind each condition. So for example, here you've got the lung cancer condition, and you can go to the pathway and you can see what they've uploaded. And as I was describing before, this one, for example, was last updated in 2016 and is a PDF upload into the system. There's an opportunity to put all sorts of information in here, videos and other things, and this is all managed with a back end. I can show you that. So in this back end you see that there is a list of conditions that they can add then to sub-conditions, and then if I go to the lung one, for example, and file uploads, you can see that here is the lung pathway that we were just looking at. When I go into this in more detail, I can see the previous version history of this, of which there are 2 earlier versions, and this is version 3. And I can also look at the authorizations. And as you can see, West Cheshire use a very simple authorization setup. Geneo allows you to have a much more involved and detailed authorization setup. Certain people must authorize, one of several with a particular skill can authorize, but in this case they just use one of the CCG project leads to authorize the content. So that information there is accessible to all GPs, and they can use this as their launchpad for getting the best advice. This one on the right now looks the same, but it actually is a demo version which allows me to show you the pathways technology that we've developed. So if I go into the same pathway, you see here there's one down here that's a pathway, but this one is interactive. Now this shows the same steps that are shown in the paper version, but they've been done in a way that allows them to be interactive. So as we described, you've got a time for the total to get through these 6 steps of 19 arbitrary, just made up. And then of course at that point you go to the next pathway which has these further outcomes. What we imagine is actually, rather than showing you all of these information on one screen, you'd actually, where they were the same, it would just show perform scan, and then there would be indication of cancer, no indication of cancer as the 2 outcomes, and then you would choose the next item. Behind each one of these there is the ability to put extra detail. So for example, on the hot report within 48 hours there's a descriptive standard that you could train your admin staff in a particular surgery or department to make sure that they were following the process correctly, and this could contain other information such as calibrating equipment or statutory training on certain things. And this allows you to make sure that all the steps in the process are being adhered to according to best practice. So this is the way in which you could then model different pathways through a condition for an individual versus what we currently do with West Cheshire, which is just a document repository. And that is a summary of the system.